In Greek, they have 4 words for love. Storge, S-T-O-R-G-E, means affection. Philia, P-H-I-L-I-A, means friendship. Eros, E-R-O-S, is of course the love between the sexes. And agape, A-G-A-P-E, is love in the Christian sense, God's love for man and the Christian's love for the brethren. What's common to all the objects of storge is that they are familiar. We can often identify the very day and hour when a friendship began or when we fell in love, but we never catch storge at the moment of its beginning. To become aware of it is to become aware that it's already been going on for some time. Being the oldest, most spontaneous form in which we go out of ourselves towards others, it is naturally taken up both into friendship and into eros. One might say it clothes them. As for eros, I can think of few things more distressing than to experience it for more than a very short time without storge. Every good marriage, even every courtship, makes for its eros, so to speak, a nest of storge, like the nest of rice you build for your helping of curry. This relation between eros and storge is well seen in the 2 outward expressions they have in common. One is the kiss. It's not enough to say that you kiss your child and you kiss the woman you love, but in very different ways, for kisses between lovers aren't always lovers' kisses. The truth is that storge kisses in one way only, while eros kisses both in storge's way and in his own, expressing sometimes the most transporting passion, sometimes quiet affection, and often many intermediate states in between. Lovers and friends feel that they were made for one another. As Montaigne says, a man is my friend because he is he, because I am I. But does not eros, does not the love between man and woman also say, because she is she, because I am I? Certainly, but eros doesn't mean quite the same thing. Eros means because she is my goal, my journey's end, my quarry, because I need her and she me, because we are key and lock, thirst and water, seal and wax. If you asked a lover what he wanted, and if he knew himself well enough to speak the exact truth, I think he'd reply, I want to go on thinking about her. For it's the very mark of eros that when he is in us, we had rather share unhappiness with the beloved than be happy on any other terms. Eros never hesitates to say, better this than parting, better to be miserable with her than happy without her, better our 2 hearts should break together than mend and be whole apart. If the passion within you doesn't say this, it's not eros. A passion can only move us, only supply incentive and energy. It is merely the dive that gets us into the water. Once in, swimming, not diving, is the thing. For, of course, as we all really know, mere spontaneous feeling will not keep any pair in love even for a few months or weeks. The passion in its total and selfless commitment is intermittent, recurrent. The promise of permanence which eros makes can be kept, but it isn't eros of himself who can keep it. Yet our feeling when in love that this condition should and must be everlasting is not a deception. What it really signifies is the immense value of the change which falling in love works upon us. In a moment it has made appetite itself altruistic, tossed personal happiness aside as a triviality, and planted the interests of another in the center of our own being. At one bound it has overleaped the high wall of our selfhood. Falling in love is something that happens to us. Being in love, still more remaining permanently in love, is something we do. To be in love is both to intend and to promise eternal constancy. Love makes vows without being asked. I will be ever true are the first words he uttered. Yet if love is to remain and to remain itself, it must be supported by outside help. That element in our natural loves which consists of our need for the beloved is not love itself. The desire to be loved is not love itself. The delight in being loved is not love itself. To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything and your heart will certainly be wrung and possibly be broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must give it to no one and nothing, not even an animal. You must carefully wrap it round with hobbies and little luxuries and routine and avoidances of entanglement, and then lock it up in the casket or coffin of your own selfishness. But in that casket, safe, still, and unventilated in the darkness, it will go bad. Not broken, but finally unbreakable, impenetrable, resistant to all good and joy. We shall draw nearer to the love of God, not by attempting to avoid the sufferings inherent in any love, but by accepting them and offering them to Him, by throwing away all defensive armour, taking all risks, descending when He so wills into all tribulations. Storge, like charity, is humble and suffers long. Friend in relation to friend seeks not his own. Eros counts all things as dung to win the beloved. None of these loves desires the object's good simply for the object's sake. Yet each in its own way imitates love itself. Each makes us at some moments and to some fellow creatures what we must come to be at all times and in all relations. They can tune the instrument for that music, but they are not it. Natural loves can become eternal only insofar as they have allowed themselves to be taken into the eternity of agape. If he rises, he does so lifted on a wave of the incoming tide of God's love for him. He becomes nothing in that ascension. His love is perfected by becoming, in a sense, nothing. He is less than a mote in that sunbeam, vanishes, not from God's sight, but from ours and his own, into the nuptial solitude of the love that loves love, and in love all things. This time it's the real thing. His wanderings are over, he's found his true love at last, and to her he will be true to death.